Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Mihir's Trading Journey. This is your host Mihir, and it's always great to have you guys here. First things first, guys, good morning. If you're having a great day in the market, if you've been trading pre-market, hopefully you've been having a great day. And if you have been having a great day, hopefully you're taking those profits out of the market and you're not overstaying your welcome, and you are keeping those profits in your pocket and then giving it back to the market. That being said, those of you that are waiting for the market on the New York session, well, it is open right now. Obviously, I started 2 minutes after the bell has rung. But listen, if you're waiting for the market to set up for you right now in the New York, the regular trading hours session, then good luck. Be smart, be patient, take the best setups according to your strategy. And as always, guys, it's a marathon, not a sprint or not a race. You are against your own emotions and your own self. You're trying to be better. You're trying to overcome your emotions and become a better version of yourself in the market. That being said, guys, couple of things. Yesterday, if you guys remember, we had it was an okay day. It wasn't a well, actually, honestly, the market was setting up really terribly. Let's be honest here. If we actually zoom out here real quick, you guys can see that the first like 40 minutes were like just like chopping. 40, not even 40, like first 2 hours of the market was just chopping, right? At 9:30 we opened up, and around 1 o'clock we finally see some sort of move out of the range, right? Until then we just see like maybe a little bit of break on either side and then pull right back into the range, and then we break out finally, and then we get some movement only to just pull right back to the bottom of that range, right? It was so weird. Market was so weird yesterday. I'm sure it was waiting for the PMI, by the way, and that's why it was behaving that way. We did say yesterday that might be the case, that the market might be waiting for that. So well, it is what it is. We pulled back right into the range overnight, and then we pushed above and broke above the range. Did we actually? Yeah, we did. We broke above the range. Today finally might be the day where we actually revert upwards 50% of the way of the total fall that we've had since the last pump of the market, because PMI is also coming out. So that's important to remember, guys. PMI can change things here. So what we're looking for today is some sort of, if we want to take some long, we're looking for some sort of bottoming out trade, right? Or we're looking for strong order blocks today, because it seems like order blocks might be the way to go today. Because if you just look at a couple of these examples, if I go to the 5 minutes chart real quick, and I'll show you here real quick. Actually, not the 5 minutes. What was it? The 3 minutes? Yeah. So if we go to the 3 minutes and we actually look here real quick. So where was the example that I wanted to show you guys? Right here. So we had this pump upwards. We had few candles pull back, pull back downwards. And yesterday, by the way, someone had joined the stream. Bob had joined the stream, if I remember correctly. And if you're watching today, Bob, well, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining in. Appreciate your support. I appreciate everyone's support that's joining the stream. But yesterday, Bob was watching the stream, and he had asked to show a couple of examples of order blocks, right? What I consider and what I call order blocks. Because he had heard it from somewhere in my other stream VODs, or watching some of my other streams or videos. So I was telling him what I mean by order block, and I showed him a couple of examples. And today, like, here's another example, especially for you, Bob, but to everyone else as well. So we have this movement upwards that we start right here, right? So if we actually just zoom in real quick, we can see that this movement we have going upwards. We get the spike. And we get a few candles after that pulls back, right? Now, this specific example is not perfect, but I wanted to get this through with you guys. I wanted to actually show you this specific example, guys, because most of the times market does not set picture perfectly, right? So I can't always be showing you guys picture perfect setups. I'm not one of those fake YouTubers that will show you something picture perfect just so you guys can get baited. That's not how that works, right? So anyways, we got this push upwards. We got few candle pullback, right? Few candles worth of pullback. Then we continue that movement upwards. Now, the way we consider the movement to be continued upwards is if we break that previous order block's high and close above any high before that. So for example, this green candle right before this order block was formed, this green, or right before this red candle, at the time this would just be a pullback, right before this pullback was formed, this green candle was the highest point in that move. So when we had that pullback coming back downwards, so we went from I believe 29,402 down to 29,000, what is this, 368, right after that, when we see this movement go back upwards, we break right above this green candle high, right? So that is after the order blocks have or not technically order blocks haven't formed, but the pullback has been done, and we are continuing the trend upwards. And as we continue the trend upwards, we break that previous high in that trend, right, at 29,402, and then we push upwards and close this green candle at 29,410. That's an 8-point close above that previous high. So that makes this pullback now an order block, quote unquote order block, right? You could treat few like candles worth of pullback as an order block too. Usually I don't go past 2 candles, considering more than 2 candles part of an order block. Especially this example is a little bit of a different type of example, because you can see this is clearly a pullback. We're not staying like within a range in this pullback. We're actually pulling back properly, like it's this trendy pullback, you know what I'm saying? So even the pullback has its own trend. So this is actually a proper what we call a pullback in the market. It's almost a picture perfect pullback, right? But I wanted to show you guys that how someone could consider this an order block too. For me, if like it breaks more than 2 candles worth of order block, if it has a trend, right? If the pullback has a trend, which this pullback does, and it has more than 2 candles in that trend, then I don't consider it to be an order block anymore, right? Because that's just too much of a movement in that direction for us to consider that an order block. But it works out, right? Even pullbacks become resistances turn into supports, right? We know that from support and resistance concepts. So if we actually just move forward, you can see that when the market had returned back downwards and touched the area of this order block, guess what happened? We spiked right back up. This happens on a very consistent basis, guys. Very consistent basis. I can't even like, I can't tell you how many times this actually ends up happening. Like, I'll show you a very small, this is a perfect small example right here, right? This is how much it consistently works, guys. And at very specific level, or very vague levels too, right? It could be very big levels and very small levels. By vague, I mean like you don't have to pick a specific time frame, like a very small time frame for this to work. Any time frame, literally, you can see this working out. And this is, I'm talking about in live market too. This obviously I'm going back and showing you guys hindsight, but even in live market, if we get an example today, that'd be amazing, and I can show you guys. But look at this. We started a downtrend. We can clearly see we started a downtrend from a sideline kind of pattern. We started a downtrend. This might have been a pullback or whatever you want to call it. Started a significant downtrend. We can see that we made a small green candle, right, in the reversal of that trend. But it didn't turn into a quote unquote pullback because we don't see few candles trending back upwards. So it's not really a pullback. So now we got 1 candle worth of green candle. And then we have this move downwards. When we get this move downwards, we also end up creating another green candle, by the way, guys. So that's going to be another order block. But just to focus on one at a time, this first green candle becomes an order block. So when we see the okay, so sorry, let's take a step back. The reason why this candle becomes an order block is because you can see that the trend, when it continued moving downwards, actually broke the low of the candles near the order block, right? So we closed below. So we continued the trend past the order block, or to be an order block, right? This candidate of an order block. Again, like, you can't really call this an order block until it actually forms, and the way it forms is because when the trend continues and breaks through that pullback, basically, right? So this candle right here breaks through that pullback and closes below, lower than the order block and lower than the candle previous low, basically, right? And as long as that happens, now this has become an order block, right? So anytime market pulls back into this, you will see some sort of reaction going on, right? I don't know if market actually ever did pull back into that. Did I show you guys the wrong one? Showed you guys the wrong one. But hey, listen, some order blocks will never be hit, and we can't really find out whether they worked or not. But that order block just doesn't seem like it hit, right? We got this another order block right here on the green, this green candle. You guys can see this. I mean, I was going to talk about this anyways. I thought this one hit as well. I was mistaken. This order block right here, you guys can see again, this has officially turned into order block because again, the trend continued downwards and we got the candles closing below. Now look, even within this zone, when we even have a slight pullback, we can see that when this candle pulled back, it rejected that order block area significantly, and we had this push downwards, continuous push downwards. Same thing you guys can see right here as well. We have this green candle. We push downwards. We pull back upwards. Guess what? Where do we get this rejection? In the area of that order block. Look at this. Right? So again, that's just how it is. Excuse me, guys. That's just how it works. Like, I mean, it works so many times in the market. It's unbelievable how many times it works. And again, if you're a scalper, if you're a 10 point, 20 point scalper, and you're keeping your stop losses and everything in check, it doesn't become extremely hard to take trades if you're using just the order block method, right? It does become hard because you do have to filter out, again, you have to filter out noise, right? So sometimes it can be difficult. I'm not saying it's an easy task, right? But it is easier than some people make it to be. Okay, guys, so enough of that. Let's get back into the market and see what's going on, right? So again, instead of going up, we actually are following the overnight inventories, which kind of makes sense. Overnight inventory follow through on the day does kind of make sense. It's a high risky kind of strategy, but it actually is a high probability of working out in the market actually on a regular basis. Now, it is, I mean, we got 20 seconds left before we are clear to trade. Let's look at some news real quick before we get there. I know there is PMI. I don't know if the PMI came out already or not, but no, PMI literally comes out as we are clear, as we get clear to trade, and there's no other numbers that are really coming out. We got Baker Hughes' oil rig, which is actually, it could be important for us because, you know, currently, like, you know, the whole war situation with the oil and stuff, this could be problematic sometime. It could happen, but here it is, guys. Right now, we just printed the number. You guys can see the volatility increasing a little bit. We had slowed down on the sellers there. Buyers stepping in a little bit here. I don't know if buyers can recover it, if we see the bottoming of the day right now. No predictions in sight right now, guys. I am just going to be looking at the market and pretty much, you know, just assuming that this is where we're going to be bottoming out right now. If we don't bottom out here, I mean, I don't really see why we can't go like even further down. Like, we got liquidity down here at 29,270, but if we assume that we're going to be bottoming out there, then we're going to be able to just, you know, form our own trend in our head, right? If we're going to go up, so on and so forth, we can form situations in our head, right? And if we're just going to assume that it just keeps going down and down and down, then, I mean, we can't really do anything. All right, back up to point and control right now. $29,352. So we're moving around the psych level of 350, guys. If you guys don't know, those of you that are new, Nasdaq, if you haven't traded Nasdaq ever before, Nasdaq has typically 4 psych levels on every 100 points basically, and those psych levels are the closest 100 level, right? So the closest 100 level, and then you have the closest 20th level, 50 and 80, right? So if you look at it right now, the market is actually chilling around the 29,350 because 50 is the ending number, right? So that's usually Nasdaq will use that as a psych level. Not sure why that is the case. I think it has to do something with like floor and tradition, right? When traders used to be on the floor and on Wall Street, and they used to trade with the arms and the forehead and stuff like that. I think something to do with that. It's like it's an easy number that you used to be able to print or something. I don't want to say something that is untrue, but I think it has something to do with that. And it's just been ever since following that. It's like a tradition now at this point. Just not sure, but just it's good to know, right? Like, I mean, us scalpers, we don't really care why it happens. We just need to know that it could happen and when it can happen, right? So we got the 50s, we got the 20s, and then we got the nearest hundreds. Now you guys can see, like, even at the bottom, we just rejected off of the 20s. We're forming this bottom of the range at around the 20s. And if you can see, like, we can generally say that, look at this, this spike happened around the 80s. It happens all the time. All the time, Nasdaq uses these as psych levels. Now, psych levels don't specifically tell you to take a trade in a specific way. It's a confluence, right? So if you want to take a short from a specific place and then you also see a psych level, that makes that trade more likely, basically. So that's how you evaluate that trade, right? It's an evaluator rather than an actual entry point describer. Okay, we got no more news except for Baker huge rig count, and that might actually affect the market because, again, the war stuff, anything to do with the oil could affect the market right now. All right, are we gonna chop around again, just like yesterday? Yesterday was so annoying too, guys. We just did a whole recap of yesterday at the start of the live stream. I don't want to do it again, but I just want to really quickly go over it again. A little bit of it. Like we actually did the same thing. We moved down and we kind of stayed chopping there. I don't want that same thing to happen. I mean, we're already starting off on a better like grounds here because we actually moved down significantly and now we're possibly going to continue the trend or put some reversal into it. But I don't want this to turn into something like yesterday where it moves back up 50% of the way and then starts just chopping sideways. That's going to be annoying. We can't be doing that. It's a happy Friday. We should end the week properly. And if we don't, I don't know what to say, honestly. I have no idea what to say then at that point. All right, basically got nothing so far. Just staying choppy. We've only been clear to trade for the last 6 minutes though, so I mean it kind of makes sense. 29,322 moving down. Do we break the range finally to the downside? We're getting some movement. Down to 300. It would make sense. I mean, guys, like I was talking about the psych levels, look at the liquidity sitting at 300, right? It's just, I don't know what it is with Nasdaq. Again, I don't make the rules and I don't break them. I just try to follow them to the best of my ability. Okay, we're down to 300. There it is, liquidity filled at 300. Are we going to sweep through the 300s and go to the 280s, or are we going to hold the 300s, the psych level? Let's see. Kind of sweeping right through it. Let's see if we chill. Let's see if we pull back down to the 80s and chill. Sounds like I just said Netflix and chill. Just realized. But sometimes I want to say things, I like catch up to it. Like my brain catches up to it like a minute later. And so guys, if I say something weird, trust me, I don't mean to. My brain just hasn't caught up. It's kind of hot here. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn on my fan real quick here, guys. Be right back. All right, back. All right, we are making the move down, which is good. We've left order blocks in the way, which is perfect, guys. We were talking about order blocks yesterday and earlier today in the stream, and I mean, we're kind of setting like almost a picture perfect style of order block right now on the 3 minutes. Could be really nice to see an entry point happening on the 1 minute now, right? So again, 3 minutes, we got the order block. 1 minute, we got the entry point to look for. So by entry point, what I mean is now I'm looking on the 1 minute for some sort of candle pattern, right? So when we get to that area again of order blocks, when we come up to possibly reject the order block, I want to see some sort of like wicked candle. I want to see some sort of like, you know, candle pattern that actually tells us the market will continue to move downwards. So you can say like a shooting star or whatever, upside down mallet or whatever you want to call it. Those kind of styles of candles, double top or something like that, right? To see if we can actually make the movement downwards. Now, look at this. We put a significant wick down to the downside. I can see that this probably will end up being a 50% retracement on that wick. So it's a possibility that if we take that short actually, then we can go for that 50% retracement on that wick, which would confluence with the order block strategy, right? So I'm just going to wait a little bit more though, because sometimes with the significant, you know, volume, this pushes in, digs in a little bit. Okay, we are pushing right back down. So this is where I would now set up my order block entry. I would actually wait for a pullback if we can get one, so we can put our stop loss very close by, right above the high of that same candle. And then we could take this to the bottom, like even 50% of the way down to the wick, but we might not get in. It's all right. If I missed it, I missed it. It is what it is at the end of the day, right? We do have another way to get into this trade now would be to get it from the bottom of the value area low. And I'm just not going to take it from there because I think that's just a little too aggressive for me to take it from there. The most aggressive I'm willing to get is like 300, right? A 300 pull with a stop loss above that wick kind of makes sense. I'm not getting any more easy on the trade with this. Like it looks like we're going to get stopped out anyways at this point. But I get stopped out, right? You can see that we took $195 damage, guys. If I had, for example, taken the short off of the value area low, I would have been crazy, right? Like I would have been down so much because if realistically speaking, if I took that short off of the value area low, my stop loss would be all the way up at 29,310, and that would have been crazy, right? Just don't want that to happen to you guys. It is what it is, right? All right, just on to the next, guys. That first touch on the order block did actually end up working, by the way. So I mean that still ended up working. This is probably still going to continue out to work. This is still going to continue to work out, probably. Just not a significantly good pattern for us to get into right now. We did come up to 20 exactly, and then now we're rejecting 20. So we'll see what happens. Below the value area low now, with a short off the value area low, kind of makes sense more. But it's still, it doesn't make too much sense. Off the 300 makes more sense still to me. All right, pulling down below. That's a retracement of the 50% of the wick. Well, not exactly yet. We can get further down. I like the 300 level, but I don't want to jump into that same trade again. So I'm actually not going to jump into the same trade because again, I don't want to get into that trade. And let's say if we lose, you know, like 400 bucks in the, just a little bit of time in the market, right? I don't want to do that. I want to at least give myself a little bit more time. If I'm going to lose any trades, I'm going to give myself a little bit more time to take those losing trades rather than just losing it in the first like 10 minutes of, you know, when I'm clear to trade. I mean we're past the first 10 minutes, but you know what I mean. Like I like in the first 30 minutes of market open, I don't want to like lose all my budget that I keep, a daily budget, right? So and hey, I guess that was a pretty proper assessment there. We do have the 5-minute order block there too, by the way, guys. So and the 3-minute order block is still valid because if we're still not like, you know, we still haven't pushed past it and closed above it. So that's still valid. We got the 5-minute order block there too. We can technically push all the way up to point of control and still those order blocks would be valid because we wouldn't close above them, right? So as long as no candles close above the order block in this specific scenario, then we continue to keep that trade. Basically, that trade is continuously going to work. Or it's not necessarily work, but like it's valid basically to take. I'm actually liking this area a little bit more. Actually, the more it develops here, it feels like that, you know, we have a chance that it collapses. Getting to 300. I think an entry at 300 now kind of makes sense. Will they pull back down further? He went stop around the 314s. I get stopped out immediately. Immediate stop out. Okay, it seems like the market wants to push up, honestly, and it just had the bad assessment of taking it to the downside. Now, if this goes down, honestly, that's gonna annoy me a little bit. I feel like it's gonna go down at this point. But I should have listened to myself. Like I should have waited a little bit more for another trade. What can you do? Sometimes it's you don't take your own advice. So like if I was still in this trade, I'd be taking this down to at least 280, so which is the value area low, if not to the bottom of this wick, right, which is 272. So another 8 points from the value area low, which would be, how many points would that be? Like 28 points. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's moving down in our favor right now. If this gets down to value area low, I'd be a little bit less mad because at least we know that it actually did move down to our profit target, what we had as profit target, and we kind of just stopped ourselves out, right? Technically, so we don't take a significant loss if it does actually move towards the point of control. So I actually, yeah, I don't want to be just too harsh on the trade that I took. It wasn't a bad trade that I took. It's just that we just got stopped out. It is what it is. Like sometimes you'll get wiggled out, right? Yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, it did get down to value area low. Is it going to get down to the bottom of that wick? Because if it is, that would have been my second target, right? So at least I would have, you know, been at the 80s for my profit target. You guys saw I put my profit target there anyways, below it actually, if I remember correctly. But the idea was to take it down to the wick. Yeah, that, like, I mean, that's the push right there. The 70 was the psych level that I was, or not psych level, but 70 was the level that I was looking for profits in my, at least mentally. Yeah, that's where I would have been out. Now, if this continues further down, sure, but I would have been out there if I was still in that trade. I just want to let you know like what my thought process was on that trade, guys, because then you can also evaluate it for yourselves. And if you guys are still in the trade, and you just wanted my opinion, that would be my opinion. I would have been out at 70 there. That would have been a decent amount of capture there. 70.72 would be my exit point. 28 points worth of trade there. That would have been significantly good. Instead of being down 500, I would have been maybe up 500. Again, you can't think that way, can you? You just gotta do what you can do to the best of your ability. All right, now the game is patience. Just patiently waiting to see what happens. Right, we almost have another order block formulating on the 3 minutes and the 5 minutes. You guys can see these green candles are in place to be candidates for order blocks, right? We need a move down to close below, and then we can consider this to be an order block. It's not, the latest green candle on both those charts are not order blocks right now. Well, I guess 3 minutes, like, I don't mean latest, I mean the last closed candle on 3 minutes on the green side. That's not an order block right now. Again, the point of an order block is that there's been significant amount of trade in that area for it to move in the direction of the trend again, right? So if the candles don't close below that previous closed green candle on 3 minutes, for example, this candle right here, if the next few candles don't close below that, that just means that this area was not significant in any sort of way for sellers to step in and take the market down further, right? That's basically the idea behind these order blocks, right? And that, in fact, that could just kind of hint that we might move back upwards. Guys, if you guys were following through with the trade and you didn't take it out at 70, kind of RIP. I don't see this going further down. This is why I said, like, I would have taken my trades out at either 80 or 70, depending on what I saw. And obviously at that point, 70 would have been my last bit to take out. And I mean, we pushed past 70 a little bit by 8 points, and then we pulled right back up. So I don't, like, something in the, like, sometimes taking out profits, I don't know what it is. Sometimes you just realize that you just need to take profits out at a specific point. Like, you can't help but take it out at that point. So that's what happened to me. I just, like, in my brain, I was just like, yeah, 70 makes sense to take the profits out at. Anything further just doesn't make any sense. And that's probably because, like, subconsciously I'm thinking about the wicks here on the side. We've already pulled below the value area low. That's already a 50% retracement on the wick on the previous green wick here. So it's like all of that confluenced in the brain kind of tells you to take profits off. But that's just something that you learn through experience and, you know, just trading every single day for almost 5 years. No, actually, it's coming out. Like, I've been trading for almost 7 years now, actually. Now that I think about it, like 4 years of Nasdaq trading and 3 other years for everything else. Actually, has it been 4 years of Nasdaq? No, I've been trading Nasdaq for 3 years, actually, guys. 3 years. 3 years Nasdaq trading, 1 year S&P trading. And then the rest of the years, I think, what is that? 3 more years? Yeah, 3 years of everything else. Yeah, that makes sense. Coming down to almost 7 years of trading. That's kind of crazy, actually, now that I think about it. I feel like a reversal might be in play here. Okay. We're starting the reversal. There it is. It'd be a proper reversal if we get down to value area low. I can't just call anything a reversal. So if it gets down to around point of control, or sorry, not point of control, value area low, which is around the 80 psych level, then I can consider this a proper reversal. Otherwise, it's really not a reversal, right? You can't just call anything a reversal. Now, on the more significant trend, do we think it's going to be a reversal, like a V-shaped reversal on the bigger trend where we start going up now? Maybe. We need to break like several order blocks for that to happen. And until we don't clear those order blocks, like, I mean, I can't really say that that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, we broke above point of control again. Yeah, it didn't turn into a reversal. We did get a small trade off of the point of control, but we didn't get a proper reversal. Maybe not yet, but it seems like now we might. It's a lot of volume. Look at the tick charts. We're hurling down the volume real fast. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, it's gonna be my test to just practice out the most patience I can ever. Like, I'm gonna sit back and just predict the next few moves. Try to see if like they actually go based off of what I was talking about. It seems like we can continue this reversal down actually. Like it might turn out that I was actually right about the, you know, the small reversal that we might be getting here. It's possible. We're moving back upwards right now, so it's possible that we might not. I might not be right. We'll see. Only time will tell. But we do, in order for us to turn this into a bigger reversal to the upside now, we are definitely going to need to break the order block on the 3 minutes, both the order blocks on 3 minutes and the order block on 5 minutes, right? Which is this candle right here. So that's going to be a little bit tough for the market to do. And we're formulating a lot of wicks at the bottom of this range, which get broken all the time. I think it seems like we might actually break it again here. Yep, that's breaking the wicks. Not quite, it didn't quite break all the wicks, but we at least got the same length as the others. This probably falls all the way down to value area low. Again, like actually doing the reversal that I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, we're moving down the range. 5 minute looks like, yeah, it wants to go down to value area low there. Trying to put in a wick. Buyers are trying to like walk in, but we got liquidity down here, right? It's just, I don't know, this is just not like very tempting. Like it's like for buying up right now. Doesn't make any sense, right? Like that's the reversal we're talking about. I did say near a psych level of 80, right? Value area low near psych level of 80. There it is. Value area low hit. So we were right. We were right in predicting the reversal there, at least to the point that we were talking about. Is it just going to turn into a range day again? Like, are we going to range? Yeah, because that's going to be the end of me. Okay, completely down to 70. Okay, we're breaking past right now. We continue the move strongly to the downside. I mean, we got liquidity down here, right? We got the liquidity at 20-ish or 30-ish. Yeah, 54 contracts there, probably about 50 contracts here. I can't see, it's not like telling me, but we got liquidity down here too at 200, 29,200. Guys, that's significantly lower than where we were at the highs. $29,254 right now. The 50 cycle level is holding well. Again, we got liquidity lower there. Short would have kind of made sense off of that. Didn't want to be that aggressive. Shorts like off the wicks would make sense, but I just don't want to be that aggressive, right? Being 500 down already and losing 2 trades in the first like 15 minutes, or sorry, first 20 minutes of being clear to trade, just doesn't entice you to take a trade that aggressive, right? All right, I bet that's a way better pullback to take a trade if we were to take any trades, but I don't like that. I just don't like it, because I feel like if we can pull back that much into multiple wicks, I think we can pull back at least 50% on this red candle. And then at that point, we're back into value area low again. So I'm just going to wait it out. If it goes down, if it grabs that liquidity, it is what it is. It's all right. Not that I was going to get into that trade anyways, right? So we're fine with that. But again, don't want to risk it by taking a short and then it just gets to value area low and then just knocks me out for a loss again, you know? Rejection is starting to happen a little bit here. There it is. Beautiful rejection now. See what I mean, guys? If I had taken a short and put my stop loss above that value area low, we would have been stopped out for a loss, and then it would have went in our favor, and that would have just... Why play with your emotions at that point, right? Like, it makes no sense. So sometimes it's just like, it's just sitting back and just trying to figure out like whether you should take a trade or not, whether that is a good trade for you or not, right? So it's a lot. For example, this trade was just perfectly fine. We even called it out. It's just, we can't take it because it's just too aggressive for us to take. It's too aggressive. And guess what? It turns out that I would have been stopped out, right? And then it would have went in my favor. And that's just, there's no point in doing that. Just like that, I'd be down like $700 for two bad trades, basically. We had one good trade that we actually genuinely lost because we got stopped out on it. One trade I would definitely say could have been better. Like, we could have made better choices on that one trade. And I was talking about those better choices right before I took that trade. And I didn't follow through with it. And then this trade would have been a terrible one too if we took it. Down to 240 right now. All right, 29,227. That reversal actually is like following through perfectly fine. Like, wow. Actually, like quite happy that like I was able to call that out even on a day that I'm down. I was able to like easily call that out with, you know, without being too confused, right? It's pretty cool. I don't mind this like order block trade, guys. Here, hold on. You put this right there. It's a 3-minute order block trade. It's probably hard for you guys to see, but here, that's the 3 minutes, right? All right, I actually like that pattern significantly, and move our stop loss down a little bit. I like the stop loss at 57. Let's see if we rotate down a little bit, and we're gonna try to go break even as soon as we do. But I don't want to like not give it a little bit of movement room. Take a loss. Just didn't work out. I think it might work out after it touches the value area low. It's just not our day, guys. It's not a day. It's not, oh sorry, it's not our day. Like the only other trade that I actually like here is the value area low trade, which I was eyeing already, but it's like if it's not our day, we might not even get this one. We might get stopped out here too. Let's see. All right, we finally went on a break even on one goddamn trade, guys. Today's just not our day, is it? And we go break even on that too. That's beautiful. Oh, there is the 80 level there. No, which is right through. 80 level, the 300 level. Yeah. I'm gonna wait a little bit more. I think this next trade I take is gonna be my last trade on the day, which would kind of make sense. We can pull back up to 80s. I like that 80 trade actually, if we can pull back up. If not, I'm willing to take it from value area low. But yeah, I think we just missed out on that trade. Yeah, that trade's just gone. Again, the value area low trade, we got stopped out on the value area low trade. But I think it has a follow through. Like most of our trades today, I think it gets a follow through. It's just it's the pushback upwards actually. I do want to give this a shot again. Off partial wick after the body fill. Let's see if we can get that pullback down. We might get stopped out again, but this is my last trade anyways on the day. Yeah, I think we genuinely get stopped out again. It is what it is. Hey, listen, we took the trades and we took it at a certain risk that we knew and we understood. Right? There's nothing to complain about here. So again, like I can't call this a bad day when I knew the risk that I was getting into. And I think the only two trades that we only took two trades that we could have actually really predicted better. And one of them being better than the other. I think we get stopped out here too, by the way. But if we don't, we'll be lucky to actually win this trade. Yeah, we got stopped out. It is what it is. What can you do? Down $1,000, right? You could be up $1,000 just like that, and down $1,000. Honestly, there isn't much we could have done. Listen, again, like I said, two of the trades that we took, we could have actually predicted a little bit better on how we took those trades. And then one of the trades that we took was genuinely a stop out, and actually, sorry, two of them, including this one. Or sorry, three of them, including this one, the last one, and one trade that I took before. So actually, let me see. Do I still have the trades that I took? Yeah. So when was this? Right, this was at 9:56. Yeah. So this is my first trade, right? Yeah. So the first trade was a loss when I took it. That was a genuine loss. I think the first trade, I think it was. I'm gonna have to go back into stream and see. I'm not remembering too clearly. The second trade, either the first one or the second trade was the one that I said that we could have definitely used a little bit of more analysis before we got into it, which was genuinely something that I could have actually changed in how I was trading. Then third trade was either I'm confusing whether the third or the fourth, which one of those two were the ones that I genuinely lost, and one that was a little bit weaker in analysis. It probably was the third one if I remember correctly, and the fourth one was just a genuine stop out, right? It was we remember it went break even, and it is what it is. And then we had this trade right here, the last trade that we had. We are down 1,000 on each of our accounts, guys, and with commissions coming up to $19.90. So we actually traded less than yesterday. That puts us at $1,000.19 or $1,019. It is what it is. Not a great way to end Friday, but honestly, it's not the worst way either, right? I could have blown an account and also traded completely obliviously. I think we did our best that we could to trade the markets today. We did get a little bit impatient on the first couple of trades. Again, these analysis come in purely through to you guys, being as transparent as possible, right? And again, the mistakes that I made, you guys can learn from that and then use it for your own self. The idea of this series is going to be getting payouts out from these accounts. And so the idea will be to not lose these accounts, right? Like we're not trying to lose these accounts at any time. So we can have one day of $1,000 loss, but we can never have this $1,000 loss ever again going forward, right? Until we obviously build up cushion in these 5 accounts, we can't do that, right? So again, the idea now is we're not going to have another single day that's going to have $1,000 loss, because that's just going to leave us with about $500 worth of space. Actually, not even, because like the new accounts apparently have only $2,000 worth of drawdown for 50K, right? So we don't even have another day to take $1,000 loss and still be left with some sort of money. So again, hopefully Monday is a better day. But guys, if you guys have been trading today and you've been profitable, take those profits out of the market, guys. Don't give it back to the market. Put it in your pockets and take a payout if you can. That being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Again, I've already given you the analysis and the breakdown of all the trades and how we could have possibly improved on those, or if we could have improved on those at all. And it is what it is. It's just a Friday that's just not great for us, right? We were calling out some really good moves, and it just, some of them just weren't working in our favor. Our entry points, some of those entry points could have been worked on. That being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. If you're going to continue trading the markets, good luck. Be smart, be patient, take the best setups according to your strategy. Remember that it is a marathon, not a race. Don't rush it, right? Like you guys can clearly see a great example today. Don't rush it too much, and just know when to call it. Just know when to call it. If it's going to, like, we probably should have called it when we were down like $500 to $700, right? But we stayed for one more trade. You know, just know when to call it, guys. That's all I have to say for today. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. Until then, or not tomorrow, Monday. So have a good weekend, guys. I'll see you on Monday. Until then, GG's and peace out, guys.